Good afternoon, it's Sherry Peoples, and this is my review over Marsden's book, The Outrageous Idea of Christian Scholarship. This book drew both praise and criticism as Marsden espoused his views on the role of religion in academia. In December of 1997, Catholic Education printed three reviews on the book, and then in March of 1998, they printed Marsden's response to those reviews. Porth, one of the reviewers, claimed that Marsden challenges the current ideas of higher education that believe the only truth worth discussing is what can be demonstrated by science, and presented a paradox that there's no scientific evidence that science is truth. He also criticized Marsden's distinction between public and private discourse. Marsden countered Porth's statements by asserting that arguments for views have to be made on grounds that a diverse audience is likely to share. An example that he gave of this was to stand in front of an audience and say, abortion is wrong, not because the church says so, but because it is good to protect innocent life. Positives that Porth found in Marsden's work. He said that he demonstrates how religion makes certain projects and life choices more attractive and encourages action or behavior that otherwise might be dismissed as irrelevant. And he stated that the difference with Marsden is his Christian worldview, noting that it clearly illustrates all culture and knowledge is presented in a different light and a different meaning because of the good news of salvation. McElroy stated that Marsden chose to examine the far more interesting question of what Christian scholarship is and how it might be beneficial to the academic life of the contemporary university. He pointed out three distinct points in Marsden's work. The first being that contemporary university life stigmatizes faith informed scholarship. The second, faith informed scholarship has a legitimate role in the university if it follows rules appropriate to the field of study in question. And third, the manner in which faith informed scholarship can enrich the academic life of a university community. He did find fault with the distinction between Christian scholarship and faith informed scholarship and criticized that the work is solely from the scholar's perspective. In Marsden's response, Marsden clarified what he meant by faith informed actually was referring to multiple faiths: Christianity, Judaism, Islam, other different religions, not just Christian. He stated his argument that all sorts of faith informed scholarship should be recognized, noting that people are more comfortable with that term than with Christian. He also reinforces his references to scholars should be applied to teaching specifically. Now, Stana was the third one to review the article, and she states that Marsden presents a compelling stage to consider the relevance of faith to scholarship in all academic areas, but he tends to lose his audience in rhetoric. She offers criticism that he claims there are no identifiable Christian schools of thought. Marsden countered this, stating that that's not actually what he meant. He gave some clarity that while many different Christians faiths started at the same point, that they over time have diverged and developed some different ideas and principles where they may at the heart agree on the same thing, they don't look the same anymore. She does note his acknowledgement that there are standards for academics, but each person's perspective will be reflected in their work. This is highlighted by Marsden as a reason to have multiple perspectives represented in a work. She credits him for acknowledging one person's view cannot be considered to be all inclusive of a particular group. And in her final observation, she said that the book challenges the reader to be more explicit in the expression of faith and to ponder the implications of faith for the intellectual realm of learning. Thank you.